Please like, comment, and subscribe.
Hi, I'm Kim,
And I'm Torra.
and this is our podcast, Kicking It with Kimm and Torra. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. Yes. Today we are going to start off by talking about this controversial. Is it rap battle? Is it hood battle? What I don't even know what you can call it because I'm afraid to call it anything after what they did to Biggie and Pac. So what are we gonna call this?
Right, we're calling it rap beef.
Okay, rap beef. I like
Hoping
that.
that it will stay at that level.
Oh, have
Uh,
I prayed on that?
the allegations that Kendrick has made about Drake
It's
being
gonna ruin lives.
a pedophile, a
Yeah.
colonizer, um,
Has a baby out here that looks just like him that he doesn't claim.
11 years old.
Yep.
Yeah, because then somebody came back and showed pictures of the so-called child daughter.
It
Um,
looks exactly, it looked more like Drake than the one he does claim.
and now Drake's mansion in Canada was involved in a drive-by, and one of his security guards got shot. And I think he was trying to blame it on Kendrick, but it's probably more to do with the weekend because he's beefing with the weekend, and the weekend's house has a house somewhere in Canada, and that got
I'm
shot.
afraid to say guns are very rare in Canada. I mean, they're there, but their customs is not to play with.
Kendrick is not in Canada, so just
Right.
don't even try to get out of the battle by saying it turned that way, and don't bring
Oh,
it
wouldn't that be
into
terrible?
real life. It's just on vinyl. Don't bring it.
Oh, wouldn't that be terrible if that was actually a lie and Drake paid somebody to do something like that just to, you know what I mean? To take it
that
to another level.
that thing. And they're saying that the industry execs are getting involved and asking the Weeknd and Kendrick to bring a stop to it,
Yeah.
because Drake's not for any good reason, but because Drake is their cash cow.
Right. And I love Drake. I mean, I love the battle of his. I mean, I literally love Drake battle better than I did Kendrick. Now, I'm not from the hood of that part of the street because my husband, of course, he thinks Kendrick ate. So,
Yeah, you talking about that last one?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
girl, that's cranking. And I was crazy about Like That.
Yep.
She did
Yep.
with Muture,
You love that.
and Metro Booming.
Yep.
Drake. I mean, I like Drake's music.
I'm a Drake
Don't
fan.
want to front on Drake. I am a fan, but when it comes to battle rap, I'm just not feeling it. And the scary part is that the allegations that Kendrick made about Drake preferring underage young ladies, minors, seem to be corroborated, because there's stuff on the internet with him fooling with younger people, getting with
Younger women or
younger
younger girls.
women, younger girls,
Mhm.
and getting with girls who are just legal. Drake's a what, 30 something year old man?
Oh,
Is he in his 40s?
close to 40. He gotta be. You know what I mean?
39, 40 years old.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I think I will say this. I think that in the beginning, when they were going back and forth, it was exciting. But when
Oh, it was.
Kendrick dropped all that pedophilia
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
it really made me think, oh my God, maybe this is going too far. Maybe,
That's what I said too. I
yeah,
said that's going too far because if it's not true, everybody knows that is the buzzword to kill your career. Everybody knows that. I mean, I don't know if you've been listening, but Harvey Weinstein is supposed to be getting released because of something that they did during the trial. So they're gonna either have to have a retrial or drop all the charges together.
in one jurisdiction in California or somewhere, he was sentenced in another,
Mm-hmm.
case. So it's my understanding that he's not getting out.
Okay. Okay. So they just
That
pick it.
they would maybe retry him on that, but he's
Mhm.
still incarcerated on another conviction.
And that to me, he wasn't, I didn't hear any underage children in his case, but it was still women taken advantage of sexually. But with Drake and Michael Jackson, those type of careers are, I mean, when you say that buzzword, sexually assaulting underage children, or even if you aren't assaulting them, but just being around them in a sexual way, that's a career buzz. Like you can't come back from that.
Well,
your
yeah, well,
fans will
Michael
still love
Jackson
you.
certainly didn't. Michael Jackson's career never, he
It
still
was
has
no.
some good songs, but his career never recovered.
No, because it broke his spirit and he swore by God he never did that. And I wasn't a bedpost or the mattress, so I couldn't tell you if it was true or not. I didn't believe it was true. I believe it was something bigger and powerful behind that whole claim. And it's coming out because they do it to everybody. You know what I'm saying? And they don't do it to women because they know it really don't hurt the women. You know what I mean? They'll say the woman is a drug addict. They'll say the woman has a disease. They'll say everything they did about Whitney, but they knew once they did she goes both ways, and everybody's like, so
Yeah, nobody
they
cared.
knew they killed that. They stopped that immediately. So
yeah, because it maybe in that case may have actually been true, but nobody cared.
but nobody cares. Nobody
Didn't
that does not
Robin come out with a book? Didn't that
Robin came out with a book and it was supposed
admitted it?
yes, that she had a relationship with her, a certain kind of relationship, and it didn't hurt her record sales. It didn't help. It didn't do either one. So
Why you come out with that after the lady died? Take that to your grave.
that's what I said. If you ain't say nothing when they was alive, then shut up. Because my thing is this: with this Drake and Kendrick Lamar, I am really feeling like people who don't even know you, have never even met you, feel like that's a door for them to go in. Oh, I'm gonna say something about Drake because I love like you don't have anything to do with this. Leave it alone. Let them do it. If you're not, then y'all everybody stop.
To me, Kendrick has just bodied Drake, but I still want Drake to come back with some good old sing-songy music. Just stop trying to be a gangster and singy some stuff that we like. That's what we like. Kendrick said, I like the sing-song Drake, not the trying to go hard Drake.
He did say that. He did. I mean, Views is his best #1 selling album, and I love it.
Which one?
Views.
Oh yeah, I
That's
like
my favorite. I listen to it when I get on.
I don't love Drake. I only listen mostly to his radio songs, but I like him a lot. I mean,
love him.
he's really good at a party. Put some Drake on, people gonna be happy, they're gonna dance.
Yes.
What do you think about DJ Vlad? I think it was Meet the Grams, perhaps, that Kendrick dropped. That DJ Vlad came online and said it needed to be mixed more professionally.
Heard something like that. I heard him saying that the other day, and I was like, "What do you mean? Like what?"
So a black female professor from Princeton came on there and told him essentially this is black folk business.
Right.
You shouldn't be in it. And then he started tagging Princeton, trying to get her fired.
Vlad did that?
DJ Vlad, he tagged her in like 3, they went back and forth.
He did that?
Yep. And she said, well, I'm just saying that you shouldn't be centered. This should be centered around black folk. They went back and forth, and every time he tagged Princeton, except the time he came out claiming that, oh, I really didn't mean it like that. You didn't tag Princeton then. But it turns out the professor, well, she said, my contract's finished. I finished teaching. And it turns out she's Rodney Jerkins, Dark Child.
Yeah.
Produced Tony Braxton and other people.
Brandy.
That's his niece. That's his niece. So I don't know how or to what extent that would bear on anything, but the thing is, canceled. Vlad should have been canceled.
I don't understand when Dame Dash said that they culture vultures. It was no better word to they can't do what they doing in country music, rock and roll, any of their genre. They can't make no money off of it. So they know they come over to our I would say what do we have as rap? It's our
side of the culture. They come over.
It's our culture. It's our culture. I hate saying it is our culture, and I need to be more prouder of saying that that's our culture. But it makes me feel like, when they say, when people talk like this, it's like, come on, man, that's not, No,
it's our culture in terms of music. It's gone a bit left, for sure, but it's still our culture. Just like Brian McKnight and Quincy Jones, all of those black musicians are a part of our culture.
Brian McKnight is another one that's right now.
God, I didn't even mean to say that.
Trade him if you want.
I heard.
I want to trade. I mean, his first children were made in sin, and he only claims the one he has by this Hawaiian woman. Oh my God!
What's absurd about that? His children, he raised them. He was married to their mother, and those boys used to make music with him. I went to see Brian McKnight. I want to say at the Strathmore, like 10, 12 years ago. Those boys were on stage. Young men were on stage with him.
And I love them.
one of the sons came online and said that this was really stressing him out. This together with the chemo infusion.
He
He's
has
doing
a son
this
that
to
has
his
that,
child at a time when he has cancer and is getting
and
chemo.
he stopped paying his medical bills. He stopped paying for his son's medical bills in the middle of his chemo treatment. And
And
you're not gonna tell me that is not by this cultural woman who only is there for the money. I don't care what doctor she is or what little bit of money she got. She ain't got Brian McKnight's money.
it's
So
probably his handler, you know.
definitely,
Probably.
definitely.
But I
Only
heard
that.
that he had a concert. I can't remember, was it Oakland? It was scheduled
They
somewhere.
canceled.
They canceled him. Yes,
They said the people got their money back. I don't know what that's how I know he's living in a racist marriage that's making him dumb. Because you don't have a white fan base. You have a black woman fan base. Maybe some gay black men, but you have a black woman and you talk like that about your children?
Yeah,
You talk like that? Oh, you done. I literally deleted him from my files and everything. I was like, cause girl, I literally was in love with him. Everything
I used to
look.
love, not now, not in the last 8 years. He's not that relevant.
And
But
I didn't even delete R. Kelly, so that's how you know how mad I am.
if I went back to if I went to a concert, you know, I was a serious.
Me too.
I'm
Me
disgusted with him and ashamed, not ashamed, but appalled and
I'm
disappointed.
ashamed.
I'm not ashamed because he doesn't represent me, but I'm disappointed in him.
I'm ashamed I gave my love and time to him because, girl, it was many, many nights with him. It was many, many.
But you know what? The Brian McKnight that's all brainwashed and saying this is not the Brian
Brainwash
McKnight.
was the word I was looking for.
He is not the Brian McKnight that we used to love. That man was black through and through with a black woman, black children, black
He even
music.
got put out of college for a black woman in his
Yeah.
room. So
Oh, for having a black woman in his room?
oh shoot. I was like, well.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Who else gonna marry that brother?
That's not the same Brian McKnight. Now, what about, you were telling me that there is a new trend, or I guess not a new trend, but something that is happening, which is black men unaliving.
Black men unaliving their girlfriends, children, little children that's being held in their care, and it's almost like they have become serial killers to the young black woman. And we can't just leave out black men. They're followed by the white man too. There have been a lot of unalivings and they're butchering these people. It's not, let alone just killing you enough, but cutting your bodies up. And I had that happen.
Men are dismembering their victims too, because I know the white
children, dismembering the children, dismembering the women. I mean, just torturing. And it is so, when you have children and even ourselves, it brings such a awareness that there's an evil force lurking on us. You know,
so white men have unalived black women after first dates.
After first dates. There's another one that just happened. There was already a 19-year-old one that he scattered her
3.
Now we're at 3.
I knew of 3. If there's another one, it could be 4.
This one came out today that there was another 19-year-old girl met some guy online, and he also unalived her and then dismembered her.
That would be 4 then if it's just today, because
this was just today.
And how many children do you think with the black men?
And so far on I've got a couple this week that have done this to they've been like in relationships with women and they're unaliving their daughters. Now, what happens is they're doing it in such a way, so I guess they don't see that they've been sexually assaulted first. So they've been pouring bleach on them and it's just heartbreaking to me because I'm mad at both people. I'm mad at the mothers who I keep saying, stop leaving your children around these men. Stop it. I don't give it. If he has a penis, stop.
To do that. Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
Right. I just don't understand why they feel the need to leave their children around these men. You're not proving anything. Yes, there are some good men out there and some good dads out there, but they're too far few and in between to take a risk. You know what I mean?
There are some good men who will make good stepfathers, but you have to see that over time.
Over time.
Married to that man and be in the household and monitor. You can't just send your kid with any old body or leave them just because you're dating somebody. That's absurd.
Right. I am I had my son has a stepdad, and when I tell you, there was never any pressure on him to be like, you are his father and you are going to do this and that. It was never, I wanted it to be, he has a dad. If you want to step in and play the dad role, that is fine with me. However, it has to come from my son. He has to open that door for you. I can't, because my thing is this, I'm here just to protect him. I need to make sure nobody comes around him that's putting anything in him that he doesn't want. So that's always been my take on it. And I'm not shy about that. Like some people like, that's an uncomfortable topic. Not for me, it isn't. My children come out the womb.
Comfortable having that topic, then don't date.
That's what I said.
It's no, there's no way around that. If you're gonna date, then you step up and talk about the things that have to be spoken about.
Come on, if you cannot feel comfortable talking that topic with your children, nothing goes in your mouth, nothing goes in your bottom, nothing goes in your front part where you pee, your ears, no, nothing. No one's allowed to touch any of those.
Don't touch anything that's under somebody's pants or should be under their pants. You don't they don't touch yours. I mean, no, you have to have.
I truly believe that you need to have that conversation with your children. And I've even had it with my granddaughter. Like, no one, I said, anybody, you need to tell me. I will believe you. Because there will never be a subject where she lying. She just wants some. Okay, guess what? Well, we're going to take care of that part later. We taking care of the allegation first.
Because I told my kids, you know, that even if they say they're going to kill me or kill
what I said.
Dad, if you tell us, don't believe it. They will not be killing us. We will be perfectly fine.
I said the same thing. Don't love me that much. I told my kids all the time, don't love me that much. Tell them I ain't like her anyway. So, oh well.
But the question is, again, the level of attack on Black women ranging from young ones that you're not letting young girls that you're not even leaving alive to become grown women, young adult women whose lives you are snuffing out. And there's always been, well, the theory, and I would agree with it, is that Black women are the least protected women in society and the most preyed upon.
Why now they feel the need to do this, I have no idea. I am just so men. I'm mad at men right now. Just like, why are you preying on women? Or y'all have so much. It's almost like they frustrated with being a man. To me, that's what I'm seeing. You are what can a little child do for you sexually? What?
That part. Because the part about being frustrated as men, if you look at all these transgenders, all these bubble butt LGBTQ whatever men,
how about that?
And all the conversation about toxic masculinity, I could see some wavering about how do you move as a man. But what I can't see is how that translates into a baby.
No.
To satisfy me. That's torture. You're torturing a child. They don't have any orifices that are large enough or designed to take in your member. So that's just sexually perverse, and you need to go to jail and rot in that joint.
And that's what I don't understand. Like, to me, I was listening to the other podcast, Club Shay Shay. It wasn't actually Club Shay Shay, but it was Shannon Sharp talking to Ocho Cinco about how Ocho went to see if he could get more added on, but he said a risk outweighed the benefit for him.
Oh, onto his member?
Yeah. So when he said he wanted more than his lower 3 inches, now I'm assuming he was joking about his lower 3 inches, but it sparked something in my brain.
It's not erect, maybe. I don't know what he's
right. And it sparked something in my brain because his type always seemed to be, you know, mess with the light skin or the Caucasians. You know what I mean?
Ocho had white women?
Well, he said he dated all type of women. That's what him and Shannon.
Oh, when they say that, that's what that means.
Yeah. So
code for I used to date.
Exactly. So my thing is this: is that why you hate us so much? Because you know that, you know, the 3 inches is what? Like, what do you think? Like, did somebody tell you in your family, like, Black women gonna be like, go ahead somewhere with them 3 inches? Because
with that money Ocho Cinco has and has had,
and that's what I said.
Black women will be fronting just like white women that those 3 inches are the biggest and best thing they ever
But
saw.
that's what they embarrassed about. They embarrassed because they know.
He was with Evelyn Lozado.
And she
Now the
ain't.
woman that he's with now, she's a light-skinned Black woman. The real one is
Absolutely.
white. So it's
Absolutely.
white or light skin, but no chocolate, caramel,
He
brown.
said he's been with Black women, but I don't see any pictures on the internet of him. So I don't know. He has Black kids, but I didn't see the pictures of the Black women.
And speaking about um the difficulty of navigating masculinity now, what is Club Shay Shay? That's so freaking effeminate. That's no masculine. Your name is Shannon Sharp. It could have been Club SS. It could have been, I don't, it's not up to me to name his podcast, but let me tell you that Club Shay Shay is pushing the LGBTQIA plus envelope, in my opinion.
I'm sure it ain't only your opinion, because I said the same thing, like, oh gosh.
The world. And it's also showing that he's a pawn of the powers that be, let's call them, because I can't imagine that you wanted, as a former NFL player, to put yourself out there with some feminine behind name like that. It's just,
let me tell you, there's another one, and I don't even want to give his viewers a name, but they'll know who he was. He was an NFL quarterback for the Carolina Panthers at one point. So I'm just going to say that much. He had a whole gay dude on his show having a whole gay conversation about how do you know somebody's gay and what do you look for? I mean, the whole, it was so.
He was asking the other guy that, or the guy was asking?
No, he was asking the gay guy all the.
Yeah, real men don't care about that kind of ish. They don't want to hear that unless I don't. The men I know don't give a D. You do what
I tell you,
don't bring it over here.
When I tell you that conversation was so, I only could listen to like maybe 5 minutes of it before I was like, I can't. This is just too much. And I was like, see, and you can get mad, you can get glad, you can say whatever. Certain things just ain't for everybody. That was not for me. And I was looking at the gay dude talking, and it was almost like he had like a conversation going on in his head, like, why are you want all this stuff about how you see where you go, how you know?
I want to know that. Inquiring minds want to know, because the only people who want to know are the ones who would be interested in that. Now, going back to the Black women thing, you sent me a video where the Black man was telling women that if your relationship is leaving you emotionally drained, physically tired, you're doing everything for this man, he's doing the bare minimum, you find yourself crying all the time, melancholy and depressed, this isn't the relationship for you. And you know, I have been told, I have seen a statistic that that men are very happy in their marriage and women tend to be unhappy, and women are the ones who file for divorce. That women file for divorce, and that the life expectancy, if I'm not mistaken, is married men high, single women high, single men low life expectancy, married women low.
Yep.
What is this? How does society see everything? You know, I'm about to get on my little tip, but everything in this society is twisted. So they raise women to think that marriage is the be all end all. All the Disney princes, all princesses. How's my marriage? How's my wedding going to be? They have little girls dreaming of that. But in reality, marriage is more beneficial for men for the most part than women. Now, there's some women that got to hook up, and the brother or whatever, whom the man is taking care of them, and they're living that soft life I've been talking about lately. But for most of us, you're just working, you're contributing. They don't even want to pay the bills, talking about you need to pay your share. But when you come home, they kick up their feet, and you're supposed to cook and tend the children. And it's a ripoff.
It's a no.
My husband wasn't like that, and I imagine yours isn't either, because you're still with him.
Right.
But the mass majority of relationships kind of flow along those lines.
And I have pretty much raised my children to believe and know that if you're in a relationship and the man is not being manly, then you need to just be in a relationship with yourself, because there's no point. He serves you no purpose. Because at the end of the day, if a man doesn't want to provide, to me, that's rule number one.
I mean,
that's rule number one. I mean, he has to be God-fearing. That's just number one of all. He has to have God in his life. But right under that, number one, he has to be a provider. And if he's not a provider, what is he good for?
And in exchange for provision, we're going to take care of you. We are going to make sure your house is a home. We are going to make sure you're well fed and taken care of in the bedroom. We have responsibilities to do too. We are going to take the lead role in nurturing and raising the children. But that is very hard to do when I got to work to pay the bills in the place that we both.
And then you got the nerve to be driving my car, not me, but their cars, cheating with these other heifers.
Dropping them off at work. I mean, but see, some of that is on the women too.
It is.
I'm not going to be in a relationship where you drop me off at work and then come late. That was in that movie Baby Boy.
Yes, it was.
You're late picking me up. I'm standing outside. No, what life is that? But women do it.
And I'm one that I could never encourage my children to date in this dating pool right now, because I tell them, tell all they men, you friends, you're my friend. I said, don't tell any of them that because my thing is this, I don't see, and as much as, you want your child to date within their race, if they love or find love there, my kids say it's just not, the men aren't what they see.
Well, my kids date within the race.
They just can't see it.
Within the race, and I am looking forward to my daughter. My son has found someone he's with. I'm looking forward to my daughter finding the same thing. My advice to her is more so along the lines of what you're looking for, what you're not accepting, what kind of men make a good spouse. We're going to screen through everybody. We're going to take our time. We're not jumping into anything.
And I'm talking about police reports, because this guy, the one I was telling you about, the little 8-year-old girl, he had already sexually molested a 5-year-old girl 10 years before he met this mother. So if he sexually molested and he was out, like, they don't get time for that? Is it because she was black? Because if she was white, I'm quite sure he would have got life.
Shouldn't he been on the registry?
You would thought. And that's one thing I always say. We looking at all of that. You looking at all of that before you date. Because my thing is this, don't bring them around my grandkids.
No, we're not doing that. But I want my daughter to find a good mate. I am confident that there are some good men out here. There's some good men out here within our race, educated or being educated with a good future. And they're
strong.
At her age, there are some. And you know what? Despite what other older women say, there are some good men out here at my age level.
Yes.
I don't know. But I know in my heart that there's some good men, and it's just a matter of time.
Even if it's a few years younger, because
I'm good with younger girl. Please.
Yes, when I tell you
right there.
My girlfriend said, I felt so bad. He's 10 years younger than me, but he's obsessed. I'm like, and where's the problem?
Yeah, if he doesn't have a problem, why do you?
She was the one I told you that met at the Kappa's thing, the Delta and the Kappa thing. So she said, he's 10 years younger. He's a doctor and he's obsessed. And I said, I see no problem.
Sounds like a wonderful plan.
He was tired of dating younger women and they don't know what they want. All they want to do is pop and twerk and this, that, and the third. He was like, I'm over that. I'm sick of it. I was like, hello.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of younger men want the older women. I think we're a good match for the younger men. We bring wisdom, we bring stability, all of that. We bring know-how. We know how to make life work. Now, I don't want somebody 25 years younger than me, but within that 10-year range, bring them on. I'm all for it.
I'm seeing little Kimm and all of these people dating these 25-year-old men. I mean, it's a lot of celebrity Black women in the business. Cher got herself a baby.
Who?
Cher. Sonny and Cher.
I can't fool with Cher and Madonna, but I thought Lil' Kim was married to Mr. Papers.
She been left him. She got herself a 25-year-old little boo.
Well, how old is she?
Like almost our age, almost 50.
That's a bit much for me, but hey, do you. If he's happy and she's happy, I'm all with it. So we're about out of time, and I wanted to ask you, you had mentioned something to me that I'm not aware of, which is baby reindeer. What's that about?
We are definitely, I want us to go live on this because I have so much of my take on this. This is really quick, and I just wanted to throw it in. I watched the movie a couple of weeks ago, and let me tell you, when I tell you, they are trying to normalize.
Essay.
That's all I have to say. And if that word gets bleeped out, okay, go for it. But they're trying to normalize it. There is a portion,
essay.
right? There's a portion in that movie where this guy who's trying to be he's trying to be a comedian. I mean, he's very hardworking. He does everything he needs to do. And in the process, he meets somebody who sells him a dream, and then they start introducing him to drugs. And while he's on his binge and he's out of it, but in and out of consciousness, he essays him.
Oh,
and instead of the guy,
male on male,
male on male.
Oh
but see, that's where they started off. It's Caucasian men. They started off by there so it can normalize against all the other genres. And
yeah, that's what they do. You're right. They always started somewhere and then it morphs.
Just like the trans thing. They started it off. Now it's all okay for all Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, anybody to be it.
So is the movie primarily about that, or that's just one portion of it,
which
they glossed over like it was no big deal?
They glossed over it like it was no big deal. And even in the end, he was so excited to be a part of this man's life after he did that to him.
After the man essayed him?
And the guy went public with it and said, you know, what he had been, he didn't say who did it, but he said the scenario around it. Like, you know, I got caught up and, you know, I'm an inspiring comedian, and I got hooked up with this guy who said he could help me. And then he sexually assaulted me. And then the guy has the nerve to say, well, I'm so proud of you that you came forward. And then, but I want to offer you a job. And the guy runs out and he's just so excited to be
So is a guy who got essayed, is he now gay or bi or something, or no, he still wants to be a hetero?
Well, he was started off a hetero, and then he started trying to mess with, I guess after he broke them, he started trying to mess with trans men. And then the trans man was like, girl, but you ain't really about this life. And then they left him. And then that's when, so it's a whole thing, but it's supposed to start off with this guy who's being stalked by this big woman, this big white woman. So you get caught up in that part first, and then it goes into him trying to be a comedian, an inspiring comedian. But when the whole plot for me was that they are, it was so glossed over. I was like, wait. Yeah. You're not going to call the cops? You're telling the story, and social media isn't going after this guy like in my world they do. Like, you go on TikTok and you say somebody mess with you, and cancel culture hear about it. They your name.
Put him out there. Let us find
yes.
Him. But the thing too is that that I find interesting is that after he got essayed, not only was he okay with it, they're trying to show how it turns somebody out and changes them such that they're now wanting to be with transgender. All that's dangerous. And we're going to have to start boycotting all those kinds of shows, movies, TV shows, music. I'm just at a point.
That's why I said I wanted to have this with somebody who watched it and has an opinion, because that's my opinion. So I even asked my children to watch it so we can talk about it, because if their genre has a different opinion of what they thought they saw, I need to hear that. I need to hear.
I would love to know that. If you guys go live on that, let me know, because I think it's very useful to hear what that generation's perspective is on this. Have they already been programmed to accept that, or are they on our page where this is absolutely unacceptable?
Absolutely unacceptable. And please ask your children, have they watched it yet? And if they do, I need to hear their perspective too, because
it's a movie with
I listen.
The movie primarily has white people.
99.999. Yeah.
We watch Black movies and TV. I'm not saying, I watched a lovely little white show just a few nights ago. So we do watch cute little show, but I mean, our preference is we want to see, I'm sick of it, and so are they.
My father was like that.
See people who look like us on TV, because it's been so many years. Like, we used to have a ton of Black shows and movies.
Oh, there's none of that.
And then it's just been so many years where it's white. Every Black show, Real Housewives of Atlanta, I don't care what it is, has to have a white person in it. But they can have tons of white shows like Cheers and Friends and stuff with no Black. We are worn out. We watch Stars, BT Plus, I mean, Amazon Prime, all that, Netflix and stuff. But we tend to seek out Black shows.
Yep.
I'm going to ask them in our little group family text if they have watched.
Or even if they have heard about it, like what did they hear? Because that also will let me know Because my daughters was like, oh my God, all my friends are saying it's so good. And my soul just kept sinking. That's what they were telling me. They were like, Ma, all right, I'm gonna watch it tonight. I'm gonna watch it tonight. And Cardi, you know, she's on the cusp of being a mom and a wife. She said she couldn't even get through it. Because I was mad. I was like, dang, I knew I should have just went on my live and do it. But she watched it after I watched it.
Cardi B or Cardi?
Cardi B.
Oh,
She watched it all after I had watched it, and she was like, yo, I just finished. And I just want to let, she was shaking. She said, I couldn't even get through it. And so she didn't do it.
The same reason you're talking about, or
she felt like it got gory on her, not gory, but she felt like it got like as a mom, you like, hold on a minute. You know what I'm saying? What's going on here? Like that type. So that's how I felt. I was looking at it from, I'm a mom point of view, and it didn't set well with me.
You know, I just put out a little video, not on TikTok, because the one I had to put on there was too short. But on my other channel, where I start talking about, you know, this was about Black folk, we have to start presenting ourselves differently. And when we see our artists, any celebrities portraying us in movies, music, videos in a negative, we have to start boycotting it. We have got to draw a line in the sand and say, this is where the buck stops, and we've had enough. That's what I think. But we are out of time, dear. I hope for all our viewers that you have enjoyed this conversation. We have, as you can see, and we hope you have as well. If you have comments, what's your position on the topics we've addressed? Drop it in our comment section. We'd be happy to respond, and we always appreciate you joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for kicking it with Kimm and Torra.